and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about my long-term use of my Super Meteor. I also want to talk about the mods that I've done to it as well. So let's just have a wee look at the mods first. There's still a few things I would like to buy, but I'm of two minds. So if I go over here, I put some bar end mirrors on, except they were crap. Look at this. All the paint has flaked off them. I've got a new set on order, but these were supposed to be official Royal Enfield ones. I'm getting a better set now. I put on some of those tech bike parts, the levers, because I felt the original OEM levers were kind of crap really. They seemed just a bit cheap and they had a plastic dial on them and stuff like that. I was like, not really into that. In terms of other mods, I put the Hepco and Decker bars on it. So there's other kinds of bars available, but I love the way the chrome goes against the exhaust. They're really well made, high quality. They were much more expensive than the regular ones, but they are really good. They really set off the bike and they look fantastic, so it was worth the extra money. Coming along the bike, what you don't see in there is a DNA air filter. So to talk about the DNA air filter, there's a bit of debate if it makes a difference. I found a massive difference, primarily in removing flat spots and making the engine a bit more free revving. The difference was immediate. I just noticed straight away. It was fantastic. On the back, I've got the Givi panniers. They were pretty good value. They've done me really well. Not Givi, what a tool. Shad panniers. Why do I have Givi in my head? Yeah, they're the Shad panniers with a mounting kit. So they're really easy to take off and on. Really good. You get tons of storage. They've taken a beating. They've got a few scuffs on them, but you get great storage and they're really useful. I recommend them. The reason I got the Shad panniers, those ones, is if you look, they fit the lines of the bike really nicely. The curves and shapes on them just set off the bike really well. On the back here, you will see I put a sissy bar. That's my recording kit on the back of it, but I just felt a sissy bar set off the lines of the bike. If you look, see the lines, it just suits the bike. The lines are fantastic. Now if I go down, you'll see I've put an aftermarket exhaust on it. That's an AEW from India. It's held up pretty well, easy to fit, no bother at all. The little heat cover at the front is changing colour. Must be a different steel or something, but I've ridden in the rain, no rust, anything like that. As you can see, generally, considering I've had the bike 2.5 years and I've ridden in all conditions, it's pretty mint. There's a couple of wee bits where the bolts maybe corrode a little bit, but you can clean them up with a toothbrush. Otherwise, there's nothing really on it that I would say. The only part on it, there's two parts that I don't think are particularly great. The levers, which I felt were kind of crap, so I replaced them, and these are 1,000,000 times better. They're so much more comfortable and precise. I think the dash is a bit cheap, to be honest. It functions, it does what it needs to do, but I think it could be better. See if they took some of this metal and put a rim around both of these, it would look loads better. Immediately loads better. In terms of other things I've done, it's a very easy bike to work on, and I'm a ham-fisted moron, so I recently done the discs and pads at the front and back. This little bit here, this little bit of rubber has split, so I've had to tape it up just now. I'm looking for a new one of those and I can't find one anywhere. If you look at the rest of the bike, aside from wear and tear, little scuffs and that, there's no corrosion or anything like that. And I ride in all conditions. I've ridden in water up to the air filter. I was caught in a flash flood once and there was a street turned into a river. So I just measured it and just went through it and I was like, yeah, it's alright. Got through it, no bother. Ridden in the snow and the ice. Conditions you wouldn't normally ride a bike in, but I go out in all conditions and it's still, the finishes are mint. I do take care of it. I'm not fastidious. If it gets covered in mud and bugs, I will give it a clean. But otherwise, I'm not one of these clean fascists. So in terms of what I don't like about the bike, seating position is fantastic. If you're looking for a very comfortable bike, it's absolutely awesome. Really, really comfortable. Some people don't get on with the foot forward position, but I'm 6'5" and I find it just incredibly comfortable. I can stretch my legs out, it's really nice. You can go for hours on it and it's not an issue. Another thing I really like about it, the handling. Now normally you would say a cruiser, it's not going to handle, is it? It's not a sports bike, but generally it will outhandle most cruisers. It's got absolutely phenomenal handling for a cruiser. You can chuck it through corners. If anyone's with you on a big heavy cruiser, you will lose them in the twisties without a shadow of a doubt. The sound is absolutely awesome. Since I put those exhausts on, the sound is just tremendous. That sort of twin burble, lots of pops. The overrun's fantastic. That's not to say the stock exhausts were bad, but yeah, these exhausts are tremendous. If you listen to my other videos, you'll hear the full exhaust sound. I do my best to record it. I'm still learning how to record the audio, but I'm getting better at it. Things that aren't so good, the OEM chain wasn't great. It lasted about 4,500 miles. It's a sort of lower grade chain, it's not as heavy duty. So I actually replaced the chain. Not an expensive or difficult job to do. And this chain's holding up much, much better. The other one just seemed to stretch very quickly and then reached its maximum limit, and that was that. Another thing you'll hear a lot about, a lot of people complain the suspension's too hard. There is workarounds of it, so if you find that the suspension is a bit too hard, what I would probably do is what I've done here. I put a little bit of preload on and I reduce the pressure in the rear tyre, and that helps it a lot. After a little while, they will settle in a little bit. It's not really Royal Enfield's fault. A lot of the roads in the UK look like a runway that's been bombed by a rival. So you're weaving through potholes that look like craters. So, I mean, you'd need an adventure bike to properly ride in the UK nowadays. The roads are just so terrible. But it's not anywhere near as bad as people make out. It really isn't. Other things, really delighted with the bike. I still absolutely love the way it looks. I do think it's one of the best looking budget cruisers by a long stretch. I'm annoyed at my mirrors with the paint flaking off, but I could respray them. But by the time I got paint and I sanded them down and done all of that, they're not that expensive, so I just got another one. Trying to think of anything else I don't like. For me, it's just that it was the official levers. The dials, I'd just love to see someone do like a little aftermarket chrome surround. So if anyone knows of those, let me know. Just in the same material as the silver bits on the headstock, that would be brilliant. The chain was crap, but I replaced that. I've done nearly 10,000 miles in all conditions, so the fact it's in such good nick is testament to the build quality of Royal Enfield. I have never had any issues at all. Absolutely none. Servicing normally comes in at about 230 quid for a service. How many services am I in now? One. I think I'm 4 services in. I'm not sure. Yeah, so absolutely a phenomenal bike. If you're thinking of getting one. Oh, another thing I need to mention that some people have mentioned. So the gearbox can be a bit clunky and misses gears and gives you false neutrals when you first get the bike. That totally settled down after 1500 miles. Now it's absolutely silky smooth. If I miss a gear, it's my fault because I'm useless. Otherwise, yeah, fantastic bike. I modded it to suit what I like. You've maybe choose different mods. I'm in two minds about a windscreen. I think a windscreen would actually look really good, but because I'm so tall, I'm worried about the buffeting. It might just put all the wind straight into my head. Because of the way you sit low down, not having a windscreen, it's actually not too bad. The wind buffeting isn't that bad. Do the exhausts improve performance? Well, when I put the DNA air filter, I noticed the miles per gallon jumped up over 70. So if you keep the stock exhaust and you want to remove flat spots and you want better mileage, I totally recommend the DNA air filter. I then went and cancelled that out by putting the straight pipe exhaust on. I've not got the baffles in it, so, but I mean, it sounds so good. One day we'll all be on electric bikes if they have their way, so enjoy the noise now while you can. Will I keep the bike? Now, this is the thing that I'm thinking about. I'm coming up 2.5 years, so it'll be 3 years in a few months. And when you have a bike that's just so good, you're kind of loath to trade it in for something that might not be as good. I really wish there was like a bigger displacement Enfield. That's not to say it's slow, not by any stretch. Once you get the filter and the exhaust on it, even in its standard form, it'll sit at 70 all day and you still have plenty to do overtakes. It's most at home on these wee sort of roads. That's where it absolutely loves to be, on little British back roads like this. Anyway, there's people coming now. That's it for today. I'll speak to you later. Bye bye.